When I lost my son, I knew exactly what they were talking about. It's unimaginable. When I got to the park, nothing. So I called the cops. They were telling me he's 18. They have to wait 24 hours. I'm calling everybody. I'm calling the mayor. I'm calling the commissioner. I called everybody that I knew. And I feel like Maverick Music Group, gospel music, especially music ministry, has spoken so loud to me. And that has been my counsel, my hope, my restoration.
Hey, welcome back to another episode of Good Grief. Today we're going to be chatting with Charmaine Fenton over in Miami, USA, about the tragic loss of her son LJ and also the suspicion around how he passed. Charmaine is an incredible woman, mother, business owner, actor, and better known as Shastars on Instagram, which is how we connected. So today we're going to break down her journey through grief as a mother, losing a son, and some of the aspects to that journey as well. So Charmaine, welcome. Last time we FaceTimed, you were in Home Depot, and It was about 1:30 in the morning, I think. Yeah. It's great to see you. Did you find everything you needed in Home Depot that night?
I did. We were getting ready to put up a pergola, and we ran out of some items at the Home Depot close to me, and I had to drive about 30 minutes to one that was further south. But I made it on time, and they held the items for me, so that was good.
Yeah, they were very lovely, weren't they? I think that was just before July 4th as well. So
yes,
before the big holiday.
Yes.
Thanks for taking the time to come and sit and just chat through your story. I think, when I first saw or heard of your story, it really struck a chord deep within me as I've just become a father in the last 3 months. And to hear of your loss of your son, I just really wanted to chat. And so thank you, first of all. But I'd love just to ask you about all your kids and tell us a little bit about your beautiful kids.
My firstborn obviously was LJ, and he is an amazing human being, very thoughtful, caring, compassionate, just selfless human being, I think I did a good job raising him. He was the man of the house. He was just an angel. When the Lord blessed me with LJ, 13 months later, I was blessed with his sister, Charlene Latham. And Charlene is half my name and half LJ's name. LJ is Lenon, so it's Charlene. So it's half.
I love that.
Your name. And Charlene Hyacinth Latham, she's a flower, and she's still blooming. She's going through.
Hyacinth was my auntie's name, so.
Oh, really?
There you go. Another connection. Yeah. I mean, we're both sitting. We said it at the start of the call, didn't we? LJ's favorite color is green, which
green.
I had no idea, and I thought I was wearing too much green today.
Yes, that's one of his favorite colors is hunter green, army green, dark green. Yes, that's one of his favorite. That's the number one pick, and then black and red. And then after I had Charlene, 16 years later, the Lord thought it fit to bless my womb, which I wasn't expecting at all. I was in shock for a while. I'm absorbing it now.
Were you about to say I'm still in shock?
Yeah. But it makes sense now. Everything comes together. It's coming together in my mind and in my spirit. So he blessed me with Asher. And I got pregnant with Asher 2019. 2018, my gynecologist told me I had to do a biopsy. They wanted to check on a nodule to make sure it was, non-cancerous. Sure. And I told Dr. Mullen, that's his name, Dr. Elias Mullen, I said, there won't be anything there. God has healed me. I believe that. And I walked in and went and I said, can we pray? And I said, I'm already healed. When they put the cameras in and everything again, ready to do this procedure, there's nothing there. There was absolutely nothing there. He was in shock. And even though they didn't see anything to remove, he was like, I'm already there, so let me just do a biopsy. I was like, okay. He didn't want to be on the safe side because he couldn't believe that the nodule was gone. And then he told me if I wanted to conceive, it would take about 2 years or 3 years because of scar tissue.
Okay.
So I said,
and at that point, were you wanting to conceive?
No. And then that happened in 2018. So I wasn't planning to conceive or any of that. And I conceived. And when I called the doctor and I said, hey, I'm pregnant, he was like, what? So the big man upstairs had bigger plans for me. And I got pregnant. And I had the kids involved in what we were going to name him. And I came up with Asher. And Asher is the name of Jacob's son and the tribe, Israel. Asher means happy and blessed. And he is exactly that, happy and blessed.
Everything and anything I've seen of Asher is exactly that. Is it his birthday? Yes. Was it his birthday this week? I saw him opening presents.
Yes, his birthday was on Saturday, and he's still opening presents.
Oh, so I allow him 13th.
To open. He's the 13th, and you know what?
I'm the 14th.
Happy belated birthday!
Thank you, and happy birthday to Asher.
Wow! So you know what's unique about Asher? Asher's birthday is 7/13/2020. 7 and 13 is 20, and the year 2020.
2020.
And he weighed 7 pounds 13 inches.
Oh my goodness! What a miracle!
I wish I understand those numbers.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, what a miracle! Yes. And he's definitely a ball of joy.
He is, and he has a purpose. He definitely has a purpose, and his purpose on this journey for me is bringing me happiness and that healing energy, because he's everything like his brother. You know, when I look at LJ, birthday is the 7th, and he died on the 13th.
Oh,
and
wow.
Asher is the 7th and 13th.
Wow.
The numbers.
How does that happen?
LJ is April 7th, the 7th, and he died the 13th. And Asher's born the 7th, 2020. God don't make mistakes.
Yeah, I agree with that. Which is harder to, it's easy to say, it's harder to understand and process that for sure.
Yeah. Numbers.
Well, I'd love to unpack LJ's story. I don't know where to start with this. Would you like to do the honors in telling us about LJ and what led up to, his passing?
Yeah, so I started a little business for my son. He was into cars, a rent-a-car business. And
we had a rental car business.
Really?
I'm not even joking. I'm not even joking you.
Really? Wow. This is divine connection. Wow. So
I think so.
And it's funny, the first car we got was this color. It's a green.
Oh, that's cool.
He built it.
Wow.
It's like a hunter green with peanut butter seats, convertible. We went, it was a Tuesday evening, and it was raining really bad, and we went to Fort Lauderdale Airport to drop the car off because it was going out, and came home. And like a few hours later, he says, Mom, I'm going by Jay's house. Jay is his friend. And that's usually what he does. And then he kisses me on my forehead and he says, see you later, Mom. I love you. And I had Asher, and he turns to him and he says, my youth, I'll see you later, or something like that, and gave him a kiss. And he left.
And what does that mean, my ute?
Oh, my boy.
Is this Jamaican?
Jamaican, yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. I think he said, my youth, I love you, and I'll see you later. And that was a Tuesday evening. I think it was probably around between 7 and 8, something like that. And it was still raining, but
sure,
not too bad. And I noticed,
so a regular time to go out.
Yeah,
with your
his
friend.
curfew is 12 o'clock, and the friend lived in the neighborhood.
And how old is LJ at that point?
LJ just turned 18.
Okay.
His birthday was on Good Friday.
Oh, wow.
So it was a couple of days after his birthday. And I saw him with the Porsche keys. And I said, where are you going with that? It's raining. Like, you going somewhere? He's like, oh, no. Okay, Mom, I'll take the Camry. And I said, okay. And I noticed 11:30 came. He didn't come. 11:40. His curfew is 12 o'clock, so I gave it time. And then I see midnight come, nothing. That's so unlike him, because if he's running late, he texts me and, say, Mom, I'm on my way, I'm running late or something.
He's a good boy.
And, yes. And I reached out, called his phone, nothing, sent him a message. And then I started, something didn't feel right within my spirit. This is off. Something is odd. And I kept on messaging him, and I threatened him now, like, you better answer, you better be home, it's da-da-da-da.
Like every good mom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And nothing. And then I said, I called his friend, but he didn't pick up. They live in the same neighborhood. So I drove down there, and I'm messaging the friend, like, where's LJ? When I got there, LJ's car was there. So the car was parked up at the friend's house, which is like 3 minutes away from my house. And then he messaged me and says, they were at the park. LJ saw something on his phone. He got mad and got out the car, and he was looking for him for 40 minutes. He don't know where he went. I'm like, what? You didn't call me? You didn't call the police? Like, are you serious? Where is my son?
And then he's just gone home.
Where is my son? I think prior to me going to his house, I opened the message because we have a tracker. He keeps it open so I could see where he was. And I saw the car leaving the park. And something in my spirit says record it. So I screen record the car moving. And I see it coming, and it turns into my neighborhood. And then it turns past my house. So I'm like, why didn't he turn to come home? That's why I went to the boy's house, because the car went straight to that house.
Was. Yeah.
Yes, because the iPhone tracker, and he always keeps it on so I know where he is. So that's how I got to the boy's house. The car was there because I tracked his phone. And then when he told me that, I started screaming, and I called the cops, and I'm like, that's strange.
Did he give you any more information than that? Yeah, like he just couldn't find him?
He couldn't find him, and he was looking for 40 minutes, and he went to get his parents, and the parents didn't call me. This is somebody that eats at my house, sleep at my house, go on vacation. When
and
LJ
they were just
washes
at home,
the car, chilling.
In the middle of the night, going to sleep.
Yeah, lights out. So if I didn't have it in my spirit, if I didn't feel something was off, and I could have probably just said, oh, I saw the car, went there, it's parked up, I'm going to go to bed.
He'll be fine. Yeah.
And then in the morning, what's going to happen? Then I would have probably never even found or know anything then. And I rushed to the park. And when I got to the park, nothing. So I called the cops. And they were telling me he's 18. They have to wait 24 hours because he's an adult. Oh, my
goodness.
I'm like, I'm calling everybody. I'm calling the mayor. I'm calling the commissioner. I called everybody that I knew. And thankfully, all hands was on deck. They had the choppers out there searching, and days go by, nothing. And
so this happened, past midnight. So it's dark out, it's pitch black. You're out in the park searching.
Raining.
And you're
we
calling
searched
people
for 3 days.
Oh my
Yes.
goodness.
It was such a unity because I live in Broward County. Other county, Dade County, came in to help. So we had
Wow.
divers in the lake diving. They had dogs, everything.
The whole search
The
team.
whole everybody was on deck. Divers doing shifts, and that went on for like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday night. I remember, and everybody's at my house. The whole neighborhood is at my house. And prior to that Thursday evening, I just felt so weak in my knees. My knees were just like, I just kept on saying, I don't feel well. Like my knees are just wobbly. And I remember when they knocked on my door, I was sitting on the couch and I saw the chief and the deputy and everybody come in. And all I can remember is Asher in front of me kissed me because I fainted, bore through everybody and kissed me. Yeah.
And he would have only been how old then?
Asher was just 23. Asher was just 3.
Wow.
He was
And did you
going
know
to
when
be
you
3.
saw-
He was going to be 3 in July.
Right.
So he was two and a half.
Did you know when you saw everyone bust through the front door the outcome? Did you just know, or
Yeah, it just, I think that when they say, I'm sorry, Miss Fenton, I'm so sorry. And I was like, no. It was one of the worst pains of my life. It was, I don't wish that on my enemy. Like something inside of me just nodded. And it's almost like I was giving birth, but I couldn't have the baby. It was that painful. It's something that I will never get over. It's something that will never leave me ever, ever, ever. Because that DNA is still in you. That DNA is a part of you. His DNA is in me. And so I felt it to the core of my soul. It was bad. It was so bad. It was so bad. And 16, 17 months in, and am I better? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know if better is the scale, I don't know if that's the scale that we can put ourselves on when we lose someone,
Yeah. It's a journey.
And like you said, you wouldn't wish that upon your enemies. It's a pain that nothing can compare to.
Yeah.
I'd rather break all the bones in my body than have gone through the tragic loss of my dad, and so I just want to honor and respect, your tears as well, because the love that you'll have and still have for LJ forever is, I get to know LJ through you and through your tears and through your story. And so that's what we're here to honor today. And so I want to say thank you for that and for letting those feelings come fully out.
It's tough.
What can you explain? How he died so that people understand the context?
So he left home with his friends and never came back. With his best friend, never came back, and the friend never came to me or called the cops or anything. And apparently the friend doesn't know what happened to LJ, which doesn't make sense. How do you not know what happened to your friend? And you drove his car
To
home.
me, that it doesn't make it just in my head. When you sent me some of those videos and news articles, I told you this. I said I got so angry for you and for LJ because it doesn't. If I think about any of my friends, no friend that I have would ever like that. It's just not an outcome. Yeah. It's not even in the equation. So my anger rose so much for you. And so what
It's
happened?
bad,
Yeah.
and I've heard rumors stating that I've threatened him and I've done this and I've said this and that. But what do you expect? Even if I were to do that, or if I did that, because I never did that, and to throw insult to injury, he went to the courts to get a restraining order against me.
Wow.
So I had to endure that. I was happy in a sense because at least now it will be even more public and a judge will hear the story and it would have shed light on it. Unfortunately, they weren't prepared. So the judge said, y'all need to get a lawyer and these things need to be and set a new date.
Now, to me, there's enough evidence with your video recordings, with text message history.
Yeah,
there's
he
enough
lied.
evidence there.
He said, and I don't understand how you panic to say he was in the bathroom and you don't know where he is. And then 1 minute in the text message, it says, LJ's by the park, by the car. And then the next message, you're telling me and my daughter to come to the park. And, when I told the cops like that, they said, no, don't go over there till we go. And it's just like, it doesn't make sense. But what kind of human being are you? In spite of the rage and the anger I had in that moment, when the dust settles, you never reach out. And up to now, I still don't know what happened to my son because I won't believe that. The U.S. Coast Guards is who found my son. The United States
Yeah, so
Coast
how did they
Guards.
find him?
They found him in the lake.
And this is in your county?
Yes, next door.
Close by the neighborhood?
Next door to my neighborhood. And we live in the suburbs, so it's not like it's pitch black and you couldn't see anything. There's street lights and there's a neighbor's camera saw LJ. How comes you didn't see him?
It's a nice neighborhood, it's not.
It's a $1 million home over there, $500,000 and up.
Yeah.
So you should have a clear picture. It's not no slums, and even in the slums they have street lights.
Totally.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's definitely injustice to my son because he would never abandon any of his friends or anyone. He always gives his last. He's a selfless human being. He is very passionate, very caring, very loving, very loyal. He understood what it meant to be loyal.
And he's, from all accounts that I could see, he's an athletic guy. He was in the forces.
Yes, he was in the
swim.
United States Civil Air Patrol Air Force. He was a pilot student. He graduated with honors. While in high school, he was going to Embry-Riddle. You can look it up. It's one of the #1 aviation school in America. And he had 24 credits while in high school. It's almost an associate. And over 30 hours of flying. His first flight he took with Mr. Willard Shepard, which was a fighter pilot in the United States Air Force for 28 years. And he was his instructor. He said LJ was so good, he allowed him to land the airplane. And he never does that with any student.
Wow. Oh, wow. And he loved the water, right?
Oh, he loved the water. He taught Asher to swim.
You guys are Jamaican,
he loved the water. He could swim.
Love the water.
He taught Asher how to swim. His baby brother.
So how could it be that he's found?
According to the autopsy,
drowning?
he accidentally drowned. How do you accidentally drown? How do you accidentally?
And why was
drown?
he in the water in the first place?
Exactly.
In the rain, in the middle of the night. Seems like a strange thing for a great young man to do.
That's very odd. What they did find, though, they did find marijuana in his system.
Mm-hmm.
So
So
I believe...
Has there been any lead there?
According to them, it was not suitable for testing. I don't know what that means. But I believe that marijuana was laced. I believe my son was set up. He was laced. It was laced. Mm-hmm. When he passed, before they found his body, and I think I have the text message. I texted the detective and I told my family, I dreamt him. And he walked up to me with his head down. Because when I'm disappointed in him, he always holds his head down. He walked up to me and he went like this in my hands. And when I opened it, it was like a blue thing. And I said, LJ, this is fentanyl. You're dead. You're not alive. And
Wow.
he walked away and he shook his head. Broad as daylight. That was my vision. That's my vision.
Sorry, this was a dream that you had.
I had a vision with my
After-
son. During the time
And
they
this
were
was
looking.
after he passed?
This was
During the time.
I think
during
that
the-
was either the Wednesday or the Thursday before they found him. It was right around
Okay.
there.
Sure.
It was.
Now,
It was so
I've
surreal.
you know, I've been at a party when I was much younger, and I had my drink spiked, and it was a terror. I'm lucky to be alive myself after that, and so I know how easily it can happen,
Yeah,
especially around good people and good friends.
they did find alcohol in his system, but it wasn't. It was below
Not a high reading.
Yeah, it was below the normal
Yeah.
reading. It was very minuscule.
You can swim and drink. Like, I've swum and drunk. You know, like, it's you don't lose all control.
Right.
and
That's what we're saying.
end up drowning.
There was nothing of any hallucinating nature in his body. There was no hallucinatory drugs in his body for us to say, okay, he was hallucinating or this or that happened.
And went into the lake.
Yes,
Yeah.
none of that happened. According to the report, they said it was accidentally drowning. So I don't know, how do you accidentally drown when he was even going to be on the swimming team for his school?
And there's not it's a lake. There's no strong currents or
Right.
anything in a lake.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense.
Doesn't.
So since then, you said it's been 18, 19 months now.
So,
Have
17. July,
17 months.
April, May, June, July, August.
and
15
don't
months.
worry,
I'm sorry.
so
15
bad
months.
No, don't be sorry. I know in grief we lose chunks of time, and sometimes it feels like it's been years. Sometimes it's a day.
It's 15 months.
So have they closed the case? Is it still ongoing? Are you still pushing for them to reopen? Where do things sit right now?
It's closed at the local level. That's all I can say right now.
Sure. Yeah, that's all right.
And I'm definitely
Because I know on
pursuing
with social
getting
media.
it reopened. Definitely. I'm working
and with
on that.
social media and a podcast, you just
Yeah.
don't know who might hear it that might have the contact.
Yes.
I know, you're quite prominent on social media as well, and your story when you shared it went viral. You told me how crazy it was.
It did.
The Shade Room shared the story and told the story.
Yes.
You said you had celebrities like Rick Ross and Puff Daddy reaching out.
Yes, Young Miami, Trina. Like, the world stood up with
What was
me.
that like? And what were they saying? Were they saying, "Can we help"? Were they just sending you love and prayer?
Sympathize, and everybody was praying and how they can help. Like, when I said it was my son brought the world together. And it's funny because my high school friend Janice, she said, I need to go back and read my posts. I posted him on his 18th birthday, and I think at the end it says, LJ, you're going to change the world forever.
Wow.
And he did that. I mean, I had people from all walks of life, even to today, and I try my very best to reach out to everyone. I answer every message. I take my time and I go through and I go through and I go through. I'm backed up, but I go through, because for you to
You're
take
incredible.
the time out of your day to send me love and keep me in your prayers, I value you and you're important. So my cyber community, my Instagram, my Facebook, TikTok, those people really carried
You can
me.
feel the love.
I feel the love. I feel the love. Like, I mean, it's unmatched, So I am truly blessed because I have an inner circle too with some very, very good people in my life, and they hold me grounded, So.
And what else in regards to, your faith has held you during this time? Because it can be just as challenging as it can supportive,
Music. Maverick music group. Oh my God.
Love Maverick.
Maverick, God's Promises, Jehovah Jireh. I have it on a playlist. Maverick.
So good.
It has brought me through so much. And Fear Is Not in My Future. That song was on repeat.
Oh, yeah.
That's what's been feeding me and helping me. You know, did my hope dip? Did my faith dip? I'm human. That's my firstborn. That's a child that taught me how to be a mom. I got married at 19. I had my son 1 month before my 21st birthday. I was young. So I learned so much from him, and having him, you know, he made me the woman I am today. So he's very, very, and he's my twin. Everybody say he's my twin. That's my twin. That's my twin. That's my boy.
Wow.
And
you know what I think special is he's still making you the woman you are today.
He is. You know what I do know for sure? He's never left me. And he always used to say, energy don't die, Mom. Energy always live. You will never see physically, but the presence. And I really believe that he is my guardian angel. Like, I do believe that. I do believe God will assign people to you in different forms. And I have seen how LJ is my guardian angel, because some doors that have opened in my life that makes no sense on the normal level, but in the supernatural level. And when you have God as your shield and as your provider, he does the impossible.
Can I ask you a different question about Asher and Charlene?
Yes.
How are they doing on the journey? And you know, you're not prepared to raise kids through grief. How have you been able to walk that road with them?
It's been tough. It's been very, very, very challenging, especially for Charlene, because they were like Irish twins. They were very, very, very close. That one is still a work in progress. She's surrounded herself with her circle of friends. Really good friends. She has some good friends, and she's doing better. She's out working now, and you know, trying to keep herself going, and you know, she has her moments.
And what would you say to another mother who's guiding her kids through a similar circumstance?
Man, I'm still trying to figure it out, because I did tell Charlene that we would have done counseling together, and grief counseling, and I haven't gotten there. I did offer her that for herself, and but I haven't gotten there yet. She said she was fine, and I think I'm not opposed to counseling and therapy, because I've done it before, but this journey just seemed a little bit different for me, and I feel like I said, Maverick music group, gospel music, especially music ministry, it has spoken so loud to me, and that has been my counsel, my hope, my restoration.
Yeah. And you know, I think the thing about therapy as well to understand, which you would know, is that it doesn't have to be immediate. It can be down the road,
right?
You know, and 12, 16, 18 months, that's not a lot of time either. So there's plenty more time ahead of us, you know, than there is in those sort of times from when we lost our loved ones. So
I did, I don't know if you know the story with Trayvon Martin. That was another big case in America. I mean, it went viral all over the world. That was huge.
Yeah, you mentioned that was a little while ago, right?
Yes, that was over a decade ago. But his foundation just did a Mother's Day retreat. It was the weekend after Mother's Day, where we had over hundreds of women that lost children. And I think that was my first therapy with AJ. She's from California.
Yeah, you told me about AJ Johnson.
AJ Johnson, and we had sessions with her, and that was magnificent. I felt a breakthrough at that point, and it was really good.
Yeah, that's awesome. I think that's so needed. We just held our first in-person meet and grief here on the Gold Coast, and we had women come from all over our state where we live, and it was a beautiful morning of just sharing, honouring, remembering, and just supporting one another. And I think more of that needs to happen
Globally.
worldwide. I think it's globally.
Yes.
So we're looking to start those all over America as well.
I think that's
thanks for putting me in touch with AJ Johnson.
Yes, that's a great initiative. It's well needed.
Yeah.
Mothers, fathers, we shouldn't have to hide behind that. We shouldn't have to feel like it's abnormal to cry or break through crying 3 months later, 8 months later, because it's with you forever. It's a part of
Totally.
you. And we just need people to be kind, understanding, and sympathetic. You know, you don't always have to ask somebody what happened and this and that. A simple hug or a nudge, you know?
Yeah, tell me about the hug.
Because
a lot of people you bump into a lot of people, they know who you are, and you sort of put it out there.
Yes.
On how to support you.
Yes. During my video where I totally lost it, I did put it out there that, listen, when you see me, please don't ask me what happened. I don't want to keep reliving it. I want to cherish him and those moments, and I don't want to keep reliving that. It's very painful. So if you see me, just give me a hug. And can I tell you, I'm in Dubai, I'm getting a hug. I'm in the Caribbean, I'm in Europe, I'm getting hugs randomly. Every I would say maybe once or twice a week, I'm being hugged by people, and I know they know. They just come up and say, can I give you a hug? Strangers, is it okay for in the airports to give you? I mean, in Dubai, I was in Dubai and she gave me a hug. I was like,
I love
wow. Wow. So that's
really special.
It's very, very special. And it means a lot. Like I said, my cyber family is amazing.
And we were talking before we hit record, and you actually mentioned LJ's uniform, and you said that you wear that during hard times, and you decided not to wear it on this call. So we're rocking the green instead. But tell me about his uniform, what that means. I've seen you wearing it in a number of different places.
Yes. So whenever I have to do something very difficult, challenging, like the day I wore it when I had to go back to court, I needed to be carried. And I feel his presence when I wear it. I feel powerful. I feel strong. I feel there's nothing I can't do. I feel like I'm a warrior. I feel like I can break down any obstacles in faith, because his uniform is symbolic of the whole armor of God for me.
I love that.
The hat is like my sword, my faith. The shirt is like the armor of God. You know what I mean? So I feel like I have the whole armor of God. And I feel very proud when I wear it. And it still fits me. So I know I'm not getting too fat. So yes. It is my safe haven. And I feel so I can't explain it. I feel really empowered. Everything that I do that's challenging and I wear that, I guarantee you I'm going to win.
I love that. I think that's incredible for people to hear. Like, clothing is there's smells attached to it, there's memories attached to it, they're in photos with it. I think it's such a great way to carry them, or to be carried. I think both ways. Yeah. I've got one shirt of mine of Dad's that I wear, and I feel the same way. I feel like I'm stepping into his shoes, his demeanor, the way that he spoke to people, the way that he loved people. And I think you can do that. You know, it can be as small as jewelry that you wear. My mum wears my dad's wedding ring, or it can be a uniform in your case, which I think is incredibly special.
So
or
special.
just a t-shirt. It could be a pair of socks.
Yes, you know? Something that connects you. And I keep it in my closet, and that's like my safe haven. my safe haven. Like, yeah.
What has the support been like from the Air Force?
I actually did get, it's downstairs. They sent me a teddy bear, and I can get it and show you in a second. They sent me a teddy bear and they sent me a fighter jet. To
Wow.
Asher, and I actually have it
Yeah, that's awesome.
downstairs. I have it downstairs. And somebody came over the other day and they say, "What kind of teddy bear is that?" I said, "It's from the Air Force, and that's LJ."
So the teddy bear you've named it LJ.
Yeah, and her fighter
Yeah.
jet. I thought it was so beautiful, and it was a beautiful note to Asher. Can I tell you? Up to today, Asher's 4 years old, and Asher has never asked where LJ went.
Is that right?
He always tell when it just happened, he says LJ is in the airplane. He could barely talk. LJ in the airplane. LJ in the airplane. Now he says LJ is an angel. LJ is in the sky. LJ is a pilot. If he doesn't see his sister or his uncle, he will say, "Where did Uncle Larry go? Where did Charlene go?" So it's like he never left. So I believe his presence is so real. Up to today, Asher has not asked, "Where did LJ go?"
That's quite incredible, especially because you told me, I mean, what were the first words that Asher
LJ.
spoke?
Asher's
Of
first
LJ.
word was LJ. So Asher has, up to today, he's not asked where LJ is. Anyone else that he comes in contact with, he would say, "Where did this person go?"
He'll
Charlene went to
ask.
California for a week. Where did Charlene go? Where's Charlene? He will tell you LJ is in the airplane. LJ is a pilot. LJ is an angel. Um,
Wow.
no,
That's really beautiful.
it is. And
I think that's part of potentially God's grace for children going through loss and trauma
yeah,
in these circumstances. You know, he just guards and protects them.
yeah, he sure do, because he, I don't know, I don't understand it. There's some things that I just can't understand, but I'm okay with it. At least he's not sad. He's really happy.
How can I ask, how are you okay with it? Because I mean, you know, we speak to so many people and it's okay not to be okay, but
Right.
you just said just then, I don't know how, but I'm okay with it. Can you explain that?
Um, I'm okay with understanding divine intervention, understanding the Holy Spirit did say he's going to leave you with his comforter, which is the Holy Spirit. And just from my walks of life and how I was raised, um, some things is you just don't question. And why am I going to put myself through all of that? It's not going to change the outcome. You know what I
That's
mean?
right.
So I'm just okay with that. You know, I have bigger things to
What
worry
is,
about.
yeah, what does your prayer life look like now compared to before you lost LJ?
Um, People have this ideology of prayer has to be on your knees and every hour, and religiously, and different religions have different practices. And for me, I pray anywhere. And I could be driving and I'm talking to God, and that's my prayer. Um, I've had sprouts of it where I would just have conversation. And as I stated, my music ministry, the first few months was very rough sleeping, really horrible. So I would put my Bible on Psalms, the book of Psalms or something, and I'll have it play for 6 hours or 7 hours. I put a timer on,
Wow.
and music, Tasha Cobb's Maverick, and I'll put it on a timer, at least for maybe 8 months of my grief. It was very difficult to
Yeah.
sleep and
Did you
shut it out. It was hard.
did you come across a strong sense of anger towards God?
Um, no, I don't think I did. I did question it, like why? I think that's normal.
Have you resolved, or how have you come to terms with that question? Because I know that question very well.
Um, I've adopted this thing, let go and let God, because I've always believed God always have plan A for us. And we always divert to our plan B, which we think is the right choice. And we always end up going back to his plan. From when I was a little girl, I remember I was probably 7 years old. And whenever I get in trouble, I would be so upset with myself. And I would go lay on my bed and I would pray and say, God, I don't want a choice. My grandmother always said, God gives you choices and free will. I'm 40 years old now, and my prayer is still the same. I don't want free will. I don't want will. I don't want a choice. I want your will, because your will is a perfect will for me. So even now at the age of 40, I ask him to take away my will. I don't want it. Even though you have it, I don't want it. I want his will to be done in my life, not my will. And I wish he would just listen. I think he does, but I don't want, because I feel like I'm just going to screw up, and I know his will is perfect. So that's my prayer.
I think I think that's a beautiful prayer. And I think he is listening and saying, this is my will, even though you and I can't see it. You know, like you said, we go to plan B and we come back to plan A eventually.
Yeah, and I'm still trying to find my purpose. I'm still trying to find my purpose in this pain. It has to have a bigger meaning. I do see it somehow, because my story has reached millions of people. It has saved lives. It has made women, men, children, grown people be more cognitive of people they call friends, people you trust. The only person you're supposed to trust is God, because once trust is broken, that's it. Not saying you're supposed to just live your life not trusting or whatever, but you just got to be really careful. You have to vet people out. You have to make sure they have your best interests. Are they going to look out for me? You know, because people I don't know, this world has changed. Everybody's for self. Everybody's all about self.
Yeah, you definitely see that everywhere.
Yeah.
And that's why when it comes to grieving and loss, to learn selflessness, you know, you can't until you go through grief and loss. I feel it's impossible, because I didn't know what it was truly to love somebody until I was loved unconditionally by people when I needed it at my darkest, at my rock bottom.
And you know,
and so
another thing that you touched on, and I'm going to speak for the hundreds of moms that I was around. We appreciate when you sympathize with us and you pray for us. But parents, mothers and fathers, they don't like when people try to sympathize, which we know it's coming from a good place, to say, oh, I lost my auntie or my cousin. Until you lose a child, you will get it. You will never, ever, ever understand what that pain is. It's not like losing your brother or your mother or your father or your cousin. It's losing a part of you. It's a piece of your DNA. There's no comparison. It's more of an insult to us. Sympathize, but don't compare it. You can't compare my child to your brother or your cousin. It's not the same. No one. And I finally understood when Kobe Bryant passed away and Vanessa talked about it, and I felt so sorry for her. And then I started thinking about other mothers and Trayvon's mother and all these people. When I lost my son, I knew exactly what they were talking about. The bulb went off. It's unimaginable.
Yeah, you're so right. And I think that's why it's important never to compare any grief to another
Mm-mm.
person's grief.
No,
Absolutely.
especially children,
So,
because
yeah.
that one is it's deeper.
Yes.
It's way, way,
Totally.
way, 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 way deeper.
Mm.
Way deeper. But we
And
love
I
the
think,
care in this.
yeah, and I think just thinking about God as well, I don't often think about it enough that it was his son that went to the cross
Mhm.
and died that death, and so if anyone can empathize, it's God.
Definitely. He gives and he takes.
Mm.
Yeah.
Hey, can I ask you another question about LJ? What's your favorite way to remember him or honor him?
My favorite memory today, I have so many. He always said, Mom, you're always recording and this. Now I have so much memories to go back to. I will never forget him, my last interaction, him kissing me on my forehead. 2020, Christmas 2020. I took them to Minnesota to see snow. We were there for a week.
Wow.
And I have a video of him playing in the snow, and that's beautiful. And I watch it all the time, and he enjoyed it. And he was very comical. He always made me laugh. With my hair being this short, I could just hear him now. I remember when I was going through my divorce, he was about 4 or 5, and I cut my hair off, totally cut it off. And he says, Mom, why you cut your hair off? I said, son, you don't understand. He said, Mommy, your hair is your beauty. You're not going to get a boyfriend. You're not going to get a husband. And he went and he got a picture with my hair. And he says, Mommy, this is what you need to look like. And I'm like,
4 years old, huh?
Yeah, and I'm like, now I cut it off. But I think now he understands. It's just it's a cleanse.
Maybe
it's a reset.
Can you explain that to me? You mentioned it as a rebirth.
It's a rebirth. It's a reset. It's a new era in my life. For so many reasons. For one, as a grieving mother. 2, I'm 40 years old. So much in my life has changed. I just needed to shed everything that held me back, everything that was not of God or not good, whatever it looked like. I didn't want to be attached to anything. I only want to be attached to the Lord. I only want to be with God. I am not afraid of losing anything. After I lost my son, I can walk away from any friendship, any man, anybody. I'm not afraid of nothing anymore. And that is so powerful. Like, I own my own space. I know who I am. I'm a child of God. I am loved. My beauty is not just how I look. My tears is not just because of pain. Sometimes it's beautiful memories and joy. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to be bad, So this symbolizes change. This symbolizes I'm not attached to anything. I don't want none of this. We can't take it with us. It's vanity. I want to be my purest form.
I think you realize that. I think you you said it perfectly, that after losing LJ, nothing, business, relationships, cars, nothing matters because we're not taking any of that with us.
Nothing matters. I would never in a million years think I would be burying my son. That's not how it's supposed to be. He's supposed to bury me, not me. He had dreams. I was supposed to be on his first flight. But you know what? I really believe that Asher is going to finish his journey.
I was already thinking that during this conversation. As soon as you said it, I was thinking that.
Asher is... There's something about Asher, I'm telling you. God,
Yeah.
God, Asher is my reason. Asher is one of the main. I love my family. I love my mother. I love my daughter. I love my friends. But
But you
they are
can't get past the
okay.
miracle boy.
Like,
Yeah.
yes, because they're adults now. My daughter's 18. She's an adult.
Yeah.
She can take care of herself. Asher needs me, and I need him.
Yeah.
You know, he brings me so much
You know what?
light and joy.
I
and
can't wait.
just-
I can't wait to meet you guys when we get over to the States and hang out in Miami.
Yes.
But I can't wait to see Asher and him jumping all over the place.
Oh man,
and
Asher.
playing with his planes
Yes.
and
Asher's going to be
all
one
of
of
the
the youngest
things.
pilots in America. Watch. You'll see.
Come on now.
You'll see.
We've got it recorded,
Yes.
and we'll be able to come back to this moment and say, there you go.
Yep.
Charmaine said it first. This conversation's truly been a blessing to me. Thank you for sharing LJ with myself and with the rest of our audience as well, and Asher and Charlene and your journey as well.
Yes.
Where we're going to continue walking this out alongside you, and we can't, like I said, can't wait to get over there and give you a physical hug.
Thank you.
Because you're absolutely family to us.
Appreciate
And I
it.
think that's proof just by us turning up in green today and
I know.
honoring LJ.
Yes. Thank you for having me.
Hey, thank you for tuning into this episode. We just pray that Charmaine's story and LJ's story touched you. And if you know somebody, a mother, a father that's lost a child, I think this episode would be amazing to share with them, because there's nothing like being comforted with somebody else who's walking the same road as yourself. And so from Kaylee and myself, we want to say bless you. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you on another episode real soon. Bye for now.